Alright fellas, welcome back. This video, before we get started on it, which as you can see by the title is about the Blichmann beer gun. Before we start talking about that, I'm going to crack this open. This is a bottle. I had a couple of bottles left over from the wedding. There was shitloads of stuff at that wedding, man. There was just like a bar full of free spirits, rums, whiskies, beers galore. And I'm pleased to say that I brought back probably 2 small boxes of the 5 boxes that I took of my beer. So everyone seemed to like it, but this is what came back. This is the 5-minute hop drop IPA. Now the 5-minute hop drop IPA and the NQD Pale, I've still got a bottle of each in the fridge. And then videos are coming up for the final thoughts, final tasting videos. But I thought I'd just crack one of these open because we're talking about the bottling gun, and this was bottled with the bottling gun. So, cheers. Nice hiss. It's maintained carbonation. Let's get it poured out. Something to wet us whistle with while we talk about the bottling gun. Oh my goodness, I won't give too much away, I'll leave it for the video, final thoughts, final tasting video, but nice head, still got plenty of carbonation in there. In fact, I know because I've been sampling a few, but the carbonation was bang on. Bang on. Yep. Now we have our now we have our whistle wetter. Let's talk about this thing. Now, I've done a video before about it. Done a video before about the Blichmann beer gun when I first sort of had it, and I tried it when I bottled like 1 or 2 bottles, and then said what I thought about it. But since then, I mean, I've had it nearly a year, and I've mainly used it for the purpose of what I got it for, which was, when I did away with bottling, I went straight to kegging. It was such a breeze then to just get the beer straight into the keg, get it on the gas, carb it up, and then serve it from the taps. And then I get a beer that was somewhat quaffable, really nice, and I'd say like to Harry, oh man, this beer, you've got to try this beer. And then I had none in the bottles, and I had no way of sort of getting it into a bottle properly. I know I have in the past put like a pipe onto the tap, and a few of you do the same, and sort of run it in, but no way of purging the bottle of oxygen. I'm not saying for 1 minute that by purging a bottle or a container, which I still do in here every time I move a beer across into anything, I try to purge it with CO2. I don't think for 1 minute that this environment that I'm in, once I've purged it, it will just remain CO2 and nothing else. But the purging does give you a fighting chance of not oxidising anything. So I had some money left over from last Christmas, and I thought, I'm going to remedy this problem of, if I get a beer where I want to send a couple out, or I want to save a couple, I can just hook this up, everything in the keg's ready to go, everything's carbonated and conditioned the way I want it. I just want to take a couple of bottles out and then leave the rest in the keg. So here we go. That's what I was doing, that's what I was using it for. But this wedding that we've just come back from, I had to bottle up 2 kegs worth of beer, the NQD Pale and the 5-minute hop drop. They got bottled with the bottling gun. So now I've done the odd bottle, and now I've done batches of beer with this thing. But before I sort of give my final, before I give my 2 penneth on this thing, for what it's worth, I'm just going to run through the gas system that I'm running. So this is the gas system, dead simple. It's just a main bottle of CO2, 1 regulator that feeds everything. So I run 2 kegs at a time, or if I just want to run 1, that's fine. But I have the ability of running 2 kegs at a time, but not only run them at the same time, but alter the pressure to each one that's coming off the main pressure, which is fantastic. So the main pressure to the kegs is not regulated by this regulator here. The main pressure of the bottle goes into 2 secondary regulators, and I can alter the pressure to each keg with each regulator. So this one is for the keg on the left, so if I've got a beer freshly kegged, I can set this at 20 psi, and if the keg in the right hand side is conditioning, I can knock it right down to serving pressure if I want to drink from it while it's conditioning, and it doesn't affect either one, which is fantastic. If you haven't got secondary regulators, get them, because they're not that expensive, but I think they're like 20 quid a piece. And then coming off the end of the regulators is this thing. This is just on a bit of pipe, and it's one of them air tool sockets. So you pull this back and you push the end of the air tool connector in there, and it supplies sort of gas through to whatever you're running air tool wise. In this case it feeds the bottling gun, but that pipe there is charged with CO2 all the time. It's just nothing's coming out of that because it's nothing's attached to it. So it means it's dead quick to hook up the bottling gun. I ain't got to alter anything pressure wise to run the bottling gun because it's coming off the main bottle. And it means that when I'm bottling a beer, I can, whichever keg I'm using, I can purge the keg, drop the pressure down to like 2 psi. It doesn't affect the other one that's conditioning or carbing, and the mains pressure just runs the bottling gun, so nothing interferes. It's pretty sweet. So many flies in here. God damn it. So yeah, because of the way it's all set up on the gas, it means that, like I say, I can quickly get the bottling gun hooked up and bottle from whichever keg I want without disturbing the other keg. The gas line didn't look like this. I mean, this is rusty as hell. I need to change it out. See if I can get a stainless steel one to go in there. But the gas fitting wasn't like this. I've modified this so it's a quick disconnect. But it's the same thing. It runs up through this brass fitting here, and when you press this knob, it releases CO2 down the tube, the bigger tube here, and purges the bottle. So you stick it in to your bottle, press the gas, it purges the bottle, and then you can release this lever here, which releases this little rubber stopper, which allows the beer to flow into the bottle. And the best sort of pressures I've found for bottling that work consistently well is around 2 psi being fed into the keg after you've purged it. So drop the secondary regulator down to 2 psi, purge the keg, and it just allows the beer to run at a steady rate. It's not too slow, but it's not too quick. Anything slower, and I've found you start to get like gaps in the beer line as it's running into the bottle, and anything sort of above 2 psi and it's running in a little bit too quick, and it's starting to disturb the CO2 that's in solution and can knock it out and froth up. After doing the glutted bottling, this thing didn't let me down once. I had no problems with it. Every time I'd sort of finished filling a bottle up, I just had a little tub with some sanitizer in, just plopped it in, and then out again for the next one, ready to rock and roll. No problems whatsoever. Here's the thing, the only problem I've found with the beer gun is that if someone's talking to you, or you're listening to music or something like that, and your mind is taken away for a split second, it's very easy to press the wrong frigging button. So this button releases the gas, this releases the beer, and I've done it before where I've had the beer, the bottle half full of beer, and then accidentally caught the gas button, and the whole thing just erupts. But apart from that, I'm friggin' happy with this thing, and I think it's well worth the money. I think it was like 86 quid, and I am, I suppose, a little bit tight. I do like to get the real McCoy. There are cheaper versions from like China. If I can afford it, I like to get the real sort of McCoy, so I know I'll have less problems with it. But works like a champ, no problems at all. Now, someone mentioned about, they left a comment saying, does it leak gas? It doesn't leak gas at all when it's hooked up and working. Nothing's being leaked. and someone else said that they enjoy theirs, but it's a pain to clean. The way I clean it is, the minute I've done bottling, I rinse it through with a hose. So I spray everything out and down, and then I have some cleaning solution mixed up, and I just make sure everything's full of cleaning solution. Leave it for like half an hour and then rinse it all out, and it's clean, no problems at all. That's how I've done it every time I've used it, and I've, like I say, bottled up this glut for the wedding. I've had no problems. I've had nothing that's sort of caused an infection or anything like that, because it's all nice and clean. The only thing that really bugged me when I got this was in the box, and to say it's Blichmann engineering and to say that everything's engineered to a, you know, perfection. The ones that they give you to clean it, the little steel rod with the brushes on the end, was not long enough. So instead of giving you a rod the length of the gun, so you could, you know, rod it all the way through, if you get a blockage or they get any hop in there or anything like that, they give you a one which is like, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches short of the full length of the barrel, which to me just seems stupid. It seems like they've dropped the ball on that. I don't know whether they've altered it, but that's what I got when I got mine. A really short brush, which meant that you'd have to rod it from this end and then rod it from that end. But if you get something in there that's blocked and you want to rod it all the way through, you're screwed with the brush they give you. And to say that they're Blichmann engineering and everything's engineered, and then they give you a brush that's too short, that bugged me a little bit. But the actual workings of the gun, perfect. Perfect for doing one bottle, perfect for doing like 2 kegs worth of bottles. When I first got it, I thought, will it be a pain to hook up for just 1 bottle or 2 bottles and then the cleaning and everything? Would it be worth it? I have used it, like I say, predominantly just for bottling the odd bottle off a keg, and once you get used to sort of hooking everything up and knocking the pressures down, actually hooking it up and getting it sanitised, no issue at all. And then when you've done filling your 1 or 2 bottles, straight out, rinse it through, cleaner, half an hour, out, rinse it again, put it away. I thought it'd be a pain, but it really isn't. It really friggin' isn't. Anyway, that's my take on the gun. That's how I feel about it. I'd recommend one. I know they're a lot of money, but it hasn't let me down yet. And I think I'd be lost without it, even though I don't use it all the time. I probably won't use it for like a month or 2, probably. But if I didn't have one, I would miss it. I would miss it definitely now. Anyway guys, that's it. That's just my take on the Blichmann one. As always guys, don't forget to thumb up this video, kids, don't forget to subscribe, hit the red button down there to subscribe, clean your homes out. Come to the next other video, got out for all to see. Until next time, I'm out of here.